As many of you know, on June 3rd, a massive eruption of Guatemala's Fuego volcano has so far left more than 100 people dead and nearly 200 missing. Now, an estimated 1.7 million people have been affected by the eruption, and authorities have said there is no possibility of finding any survivors in the areas devastated by the volcanic eruption. Now, locally, the local Guatemalan community has galvanized in an effort to raise funds and send needed materials to the affected area. This morning, we wanted to start off the show with a short video that has been circulating on social media, produced by Casa Guatemala, El Mundo Boston, and other organizations, that not only shows the devastation, but also directs folks to at least one sure place they can go to donate. Let's take a look at the video.
On June 3rd, Guatemala was devastated by a volcanic eruption. To date, over 100 people have been confirmed dead, hundreds injured, and thousands displaced. Millions have been impacted in one way or another. These numbers are sure to grow. In response, a coalition of Guatemalan organizations from across New England and beyond are coming together to help the people most impacted rebuild from this tragedy by raising funds and goods and ensuring aid is delivered to those who most need it. All funds will be distributed with the assistance of local leaders and organizations. My name is Elvis, Jocol, Lara with Casa Guatemala in Waltham, y estamos unidos por Guatemala.
My name is Olivia Rosa. I'm a part of El Grupo Cultural Guatemalteco out of Lawrence, Massachusetts, y estamos unidos por Guatemala.
My name is Sergio Barrientos. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, y estamos unidos por Guatemala.
These are the times when it matters most to come together, because not just as Guatemalans, as Latinos in this country, as immigrants, we have to stand together whenever there's a time of need.
Keep sharing the posts, keep talking about it, making sure that people understand and know what's going on in Guatemala. You know, we love you, we support you.
Guatemala needs your help. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation through a GoFundMe page. Every little bit helps. Thank you from the Guatemalan community everywhere.
And now we welcome one of the faces that appear in that video, Elvis Jocol Lara of Casa Guatemala in Waltham. Welcome to Revista Hispana, Elvis.
Alberto, thank you for having me.
Good job on the video. You guys kind of put that together pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, you know, we wanted to unite the Guatemalan community and really tell the story and make sure that folks across the region and beyond and across the country really know what the Guatemalan community in Guatemala is going through.
Yeah, and again, that video has been circulating all over social media, and you've gotten a lot of traction, purposely done in English to inform another audience, right?
Yeah. So we've produced videos in both Spanish and English to ensure that we're reaching, you know, the Latino community in both languages, but also, you know, non-Latinos as well. This is a tragedy that we're going to need everybody to come together.
I also couldn't help notice, but young faces in that video. I mean, the ones putting it together, obviously.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, in my instance and the other individuals that you saw in the video, they are Guatemalan Americans. So they were, you know, we've been raised in this country, but we have very strong ties to our family and our culture in Guatemala. So this was something that, you know, even though we didn't spend our childhoods in Guatemala, has impacted us dearly. So we're, you know, coming together to do something.
Yeah, let's talk about that coming together. What exactly has happened here locally in Boston? I know there's a GoFundMe page, but and yesterday in Lawrence there was a fundraiser, you know, Todos con Guatemala. But what exactly is going on, and what can we expect to see in the next coming weeks?
Yeah, so the idea behind building a coalition of Guatemalan organizations is to present a united front, to ensure that we're doing everything possible and concentrating our efforts so we can do what's best for those in Guatemala. So we've put together a coalition of organizations from across New England and as far as Nevada, that we are raising funds and collecting physical goods here locally to ensure that we're sending those to Guatemala and making sure that they get to the people that most need it.
All right, I saw there was a GoFundMe page, right? I want to make sure Soko puts that information up, because that's one way of donating, right?
Correct, and that's really the way that we're asking people to submit their donations. The idea is to buy the goods inside the country and deliver them directly to those affected. The issue with collecting goods here is, you know, while it's great, the cost of shipping can become exorbitant, and also you run into issues with customs in Guatemala. So to avoid any of those issues, we are working with local leaders inside the country, buying the goods
over there and sending them directly to the individuals impacted.
And let's talk a little bit about the Guatemalan community here in Massachusetts. Obviously, because of the tragedy, they've come out, right, like in droves. But it's a pretty large community that people don't know about.
Yeah, so a lot of folks don't know that the Guatemalan community is the third largest Latino community in Massachusetts.
The third largest?
The third largest.
So who are the first two?
Puerto Rican, Dominican, followed by Guatemalan.
So more than Colombians, more than Salvadorans?
More than Colombians, more than Salvadorans. And it's a community that really started putting its roots here locally in the 80s, and over the last 20 years, 30 years or so, has really blossomed.
A couple of communities I know, like Waltham, obviously where you guys are from, but there's other small pockets as well across the state, right?
Correct. So you saw, Olivia Rosas from Lawrence, you saw Sergio Barrientos from the Providence area. We have an organization involved with us from Melrose. We have organizations from Lynn. So we're really, bringing together the Guatemalan community from across the region. And a lot of organizations are doing their fundraisers locally in their communities, but then we're also banding together to help the communities in Guatemala rebuild and be with them for the long run.
I also did read that the Guatemalan government is putting out a statement saying that tourism is open. I mean, it's that one area. The entire country is still open for business. So there's a lot of there's a lot of tourism that goes to Guatemala, which probably should not be affected. And if you had plans, you should probably still go, right?
Correct. So, obviously tourism is one of the largest economic drivers within the country. So that is something that, the country definitely needs. However, the focus with this area is really to help it get back off the ground.
Okay, so once again, I know that Jocol put it up a couple times, but the GoFundMe, and it's backslash?
GoFundMe.com/United for Guatemala.
Okay, so have you got that memorized?
GoFundMe.com/United for Guatemala.
Just wanted to give you another opportunity to plug. All right, thank you, Elvis. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
All right, coming up next, información sobre un curso básico, bien básico, de tecnología para la comunidad latina y los detalles sobre el día familiar más grande en Massachusetts que viene a Fenway Park. Eso en breve aquí en Revista Hispana.